No, I need to get into it.
Yeah,
I need to
wake up. Wake up. Nice gun gun impression.
Oh.
We shall be helping the Naboo. I like how on the mic I can kind of hear a bit of it. No, what was that? Your Jar Jar Binks? Is this where I do my Jar Jar Binks?
Yeah, you do your Jar Jar Binks and I'll do my Jar Jar Binks.
Missa, your humble servant.
That was actually really good.
Yeah, it's actually not bad, is it? I've got the whole.
I'll do mine. You ready?
Go on.
Ready?
Ohana means family.
I thought you were going to do Jar Jar Binks, and then you started going Stitch.
I know.
It's like, what on earth? Oh, you had me in stitches there,
that's
mate.
a Stitch up. Oh, 2 Stitch puns at once. Now that's the intro.
This is why I don't know why people still listen to us. I really don't know. Why do people still give us the time of
Two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin, mate.
Hello and welcome back to Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast where two YouTubers get together and talk about the best damn show in all of time and space, Doctor Who. I'm your host, Crispy Pro, and as always, joining me is the now well-lit Troy Red Archer Live. How are you, good sir?
Mate, you can't trust the lighting in my room, I swear down. We were just like...
It's shocking,
half
brother.
an hour of preamble and the lighting is perfect, and then we went to start recording and it went super light in here again, so we just kind of sat and chatted for a bit more about how big of Thassis we are, and then the lighting went dark again, you know? Talking about our love of Thasmin. Yeah, our love of Thasmin, which will no doubt be discussed. And then also showing clips of Oscar winner Jared Leto howling like a car horn, because that clip from House of Gucci just gets me every time. If you haven't seen it,
I've never seen that until just before, and geez Louise, that was a sight to see.
If you've seen House of Gucci, you no doubt know the clip we're talking about, but if you don't, there is a clip in that where Jared Leto basically goes to scream, and it's actually in the film, it's not an edit, where they overlay a car horn over him screaming it, and so you hear no noise but the car horn as it's a transition to a different scene. And it is both the most beautiful and ridiculous thing in existence. Honestly, it's just...
But what are we talking about today, Troy?
I think we're talking about Morbius, you know, the greatest film of all time. Speaking of Jared Leto, yeah, hashtag Morbius sweep. Hashtag Morbius sweep. Have you watched Morbius yet?
No.
See, you have told me you're watching it on Saturday, which means when this episode goes live,
I am watching it on Saturday.
But you watching it or have seen it? So...
yeah.
It's not quite as exciting as when you were like, oh, Troy's meeting David Tennant, but, you know, the time this episode goes live, Crispy Pro is watching Morbius, ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up.
Sorry, that was mean. Speaking of mean,
no, that's funny.
You've seen Mr. TARDIS's live stream. We're going to mention this very quickly before we get into the content, because we've got a lot to talk about today. We've got a lot. But last night I was on fellow YouTuber Mr. TARDIS's live stream. It was, no doubt he wanted Crispy Pro, but he was just asleep, so he got me instead. Shame for him. But
same thing.
But he made a drinking game for Who's There. And it was like every time a certain thing happens, do a shot. Do you know what we should do? We should like get that up right now and read out what he said as the drinking game. Do you know when that happened in the stream? Because I can just cut it in the edit and like read out all the things.
It was...
I'm gonna find it right now.
You were on there for quite some time.
I was on there for an hour and 20, so it might take a while to find, but I'm going to find it. Right, got it. Here we go. I've got the stream up. Here we go. It's going to be really weird to like read this out and as like he's saying it, so it's probably going to sound really weird in post. But here is the drinking game that Mr. TARDIS came up with on stream. Well, maybe not on stream. He just had it handy and read it out to me, and it very much caught me off guard. So here are the things. Okay, so the first thing is you take a drink if Crispy breaks into song or rap, which at first I thought was quite tame, because like he's not done that too much, so that's not too bad. Then he said, if I go to a convention and meet a doctor, take a drink, which...
You're drunk every week.
You're drunk immediately. And I was going to say that, but he then followed it up by saying, it's a shot for every doctor like that you meet. He should have said cast member, he would have made it even worse. But then after that... Oh, yeah. This one I was like, hey yo, let's not call me out too much. He was like, if Troy and his mum go to a convention and break the rules intentionally or not, and I was like, whoa. Just because I didn't know that Jodie wasn't doing personalizations, okay? Let's not ruin it, okay? Let's not make it sound like I'm a villain. I was like, wow, okay.
Yeah.
You then take a drink if I bully Crispy, in which case you've already been drinking this episode, and then you finish the drink if Crispy bites back. So, it's just there's more. Oh, if you talk about visiting England, that's a shot. And another one if you go to check plane prices.
Correct.
Another one if we mention James Corden.
Big one.
Another one if I mention my finances.
A huge one.
If you do your Peter Capaldi impression, that's a drink. And then finally, you take a drink if either of us mention the absorbable off, and you finish the drink if at any point during the episode I go, you've dabbled with aliens, now meet the genuine article, or anything alike. We got it in every week. Every
single damn week. And even by saying that, we got it in this week now.
Honestly,
so how
it's
good.
just
How
ridiculous.
good.
That is just so much drinking game. So much drinking, so much drunk. Such drunk, very
much
much
game.
wake up on floor at 2:15 in the morning like I definitely didn't do a couple of weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't drink for a year and then you drink so much that you wake up on the floor and go, what the hell happened? It's a wild time.
You go, whoa, who's there? A Doctor Who podcast.
Shut up. I hate you for that. I hate that that's making it into the episode. I hate that that wasn't an intro bit I could just cut out. I'm so upset with you for that. I'm so upset with you. So, should we actually do what we're going to talk about now? Which means this intro has probably been about 10 minutes long, which is quite funny.
It's been a long intro.
Chaotic
but that's
energy.
okay, because what else do the people want from us?
The last
I don't
episode
know.
was shorter than normal, so this one we're going to make it up. How long was the TV movie episode? It was like 50 minutes, right? 52 minutes.
50 something.
Yeah. So, sorry about that,
Almost.
folks.
But you know what? That's longer than Legend of the Sea Devils, mate. I'll tell you that much.
Mate, don't even.
I'll tell you that
don't
for free.
even. So,
I'll tell you that for free right now.
3 things to talk about. We have got Legend of the Sea Devils, we've got that Centenary trailer, and 14th Doctor news. There's not very much in that regard, so we'll just mention that right off the bat now and get it done. One thing we'll also be doing later in the episode is we've asked all of you on Twitter to give your thoughts on both Legend of the Sea Devils and the Centenary trailer. So later in the episode, or probably, I don't know, at the end of the episode, if we end up rambling and end up getting to the very end point and realising that we've not talked about it, which is entirely possible knowing us two, but we will read out the Twitter responses and talk about them so we can kind of get some fan interaction. And don't forget, as always, every week we've got a Q&A and a poll, and we're all back to normal now, recording every week, so you can get back in there and get posting. So next week is the Where Are They Now episode. We'll be talking about like Doctor Who actors and other roles they've done that we like them in, be it before or after Doctor Who. I know it's Where Are They Now, but we can talk about prior ones as well, purely so I can talk about the thick of it, to be honest with you. But we're going to be talking about that. We asked the question a couple of times already, but the last chance, go and reply in the last episode, or the one 2 episodes ago. Last episode, we'll do the TV movie episode. We put a question up once again asking what your favourite non-Doctor Who role is for a Doctor Who actor. Go back on there, leave a comment, and we might feature it in the next episode. We'll have a different Q&A this week, which is just going to be leftover thoughts from the Centenary trailer. What stood out to you in the trailer? What did you like the most? What are you thinking about it? What are your theories? Let us know in the Q&A for this episode, because I think it'd be cool to mention that in next week's episode and just have some leftover splash conversation. But anyway,
100%.
Let's continue, shall we? Sam.
Yeah, get it over.
What we have is that when the trailer came out for the Centenary, which I still haven't processed, I don't think anyone has still processed, because...
Neither.
Wow.
Absolutely not.
For an era like Jodie Whittaker's, where your next times are only like 7 seconds long and don't tell you very much, that was like an out of nowhere thing.
We got more than 3 character shots. I can't believe we got more than 3 frames.
Genuinely,
Unreal.
it's crazy. It's crazy, but we'll be breaking that all down. Don't worry.
Absolutely.
But we're going to be talking about a few different things, but starting off, we're pulling an article up from the BBC that came out when it was announced that Tegan and Ace will be coming back in the Centenary Special.
Huge, by the way. Huge.
I'm just bringing up the
massive
article
plays.
because I want to give credit to the person who wrote it, because I don't remember his surname off the top of my head, and I now cannot find the BBC article.
It was, oh, no, I know. It was Corden. It was,
You need to stop talking.
J. Corden.
I'm taking away your speaking rights. I'm gonna server mute you.
J. Corden.
Here we go. By Lizo or Lizzo Mazimba. I really hope I've not butchered that.
No, it's Liza Mazembe. He
Liza
does
Mazimba.
all of the,
That's how we say it. Okay, cool.
He does like the all of the behind the scenes Doctor Who stuff.
I did,
like,
yeah, because I thought I recognised the name, but I've never said it out loud, and I really didn't want to butcher it. So I'm glad I didn't. Okay, good. But he put an article up, literally almost as soon as the trailer went out, I'm pretty sure, titled "Doctor Who former companions to join Jodie Whittaker's farewell." It's all, obviously, no offense to him, it's all very run of the mill. It's giving you information that we know from seeing the trailer, with a bit of extra information from interviews and things. But it's the last sentence that got everyone very excited, because
everyone on Twitter went mental.
And it was kind of like a how has nobody noticed this kind of thing, because the last sentence of the article says her replacement as the Doctor is expected to be revealed in the coming weeks. So of course
does that mean?
Everyone's like,
What
the
does that
coming
mean?
weeks? What? Like, when was this? How do we know what's going on here?
What?
Habba-dabba-habba-habba-habba-da. it turns out we got excited over nothing because Lizo put something on Gallifrey base, which I haven't logged into in about 2 years, so I had to try and remember my password just to get the screenshot up to put it in the podcast. Shout out to William Who on Twitter for sending me the link to begin with.
Thank you, William.
But it was pulled up on a message board on there somewhere that Liza had said this in the article, but he saw it and replied and put, coming weeks doesn't necessarily mean imminent. Jodie regenerates in around 25 to 30 weeks time, and assuming we see who she regenerates into, we'll find out the next Doctor at some point between now and then. In other words, it doesn't mean necessarily we'll get the information in the next couple of weeks. He's just guessing we might do.
Yeah, it was an educated guess.
Oh, yeah. My dream of us not seeing the next Doctor until the episode lives on. I really wish my dream of my room staying dark for the entirety of the episode would live on, because I've just come back to my camera and seen that I'm super bright again. I can never win in this room. I can never win.
No.
Like, the blinds are shut. I've got like a giant Mass Effect like banner thing I'm going to put over my window because I never open it anyway. Maybe that'll block out some light.
Do you think that will have a massive effect on the lighting?
I think you need to shut up so we can move on. That was awful. I hate you for that. I hate you so much. So yeah, that's just us covering that very briefly, that we don't know about the next Doctor any more than we have since July last year when they announced Jodie Whittaker was leaving, which, 29th of July. I can see it literally says more on this story. The article that Jodie Whittaker was leaving came out in July 2021. We've known she was leaving now for nearly 9 months.
It's crazy. But
no, seriously, I really, really hoped that we weren't going to find out who the 14th Doctor was until the Centenary Special. And now knowing that bit in the article is fake, it gives me hope. Am I just one of the only people who wants that? Like, I like the big announcements for Doctor Who, but I kind of like it to mix it up and just like find out in the episode, because they would then also guarantee we don't get a fade to black.
Can we have a bet?
You know?
Can we have a bet?
Yeah, let's have a bet. What's your bet?
I don't think that the BBC and everyone would waste a massive, like, trending Twitter moment that they could make into, like, a live event or something. I don't think they would do something like that.
I agree.
Mr. TARDIS made a very good point, being like, oh, you know, in like how secretive Chibnall's era has been, if any era is going to pull it off, it might be this one.
Yeah.
So, but I can bet against you if you want.
I don't know. There is such a thing as, you know, the difference between dream and reality, sadly. And I do think that reality will differ greatly from my dream. I don't think for a second what I want will actually happen. I think we will get a big announcement. But if we do, can we get a big one like the Peter Capaldi one? Because I remember watching that show of him being announced live, and that was so cool. I loved that so much.
Cool.
Like, the Jodie Whittaker announcement was amazing,
fun.
Don't get me wrong, because everyone was watching Wimbledon and not having a clue what tennis was about. I mean, I understood tennis, but I wasn't really enjoying watching it too much. I'm not a big fan of watching sports. It's just not me. I mean, I never leave my house. You know what I mean?
That's COVID, mate. Not your fault.
That's COVID. Yeah, it is COVID. COVID, which I've recently had, and it was not fun. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, now he's back in action.
And that's what's so convenient, is that, like, we didn't record an episode the week where I literally had no voice because of COVID. You couldn't have lined that up better. You genuinely couldn't have.
It's almost like I knew you were going to get it.
It's almost, you predicted it. But we digress. Shall we move on now and discuss the most recent episode of Doctor Who? Did you know there was a new episode this weekend?
I actually did. Did you know?
I knew, yeah. It's kind of crazy. I mean, most people didn't know, judging from the viewing figures, but that's a whole different matter to talk about.
Yeah.
We've said this before. The viewing figures are not like something to judge your opinion of the era off too much, because, as we've said previously, the TV landscape has changed a great deal, despite what people on Twitter are replying. I saw someone replying to me on Twitter saying, well, that's just not true. It is. Was Netflix as big as it was when Planet of the Dead came out? Oh, wait. Netflix didn't exist. So, you know what I mean? Did Netflix exist in 2009?
Yeah, exactly.
It didn't exist, did it? When did Netflix start?
Well,
I'm looking it up.
No, Netflix did exist, but it was a DVD service.
Like Blockbuster.
No, they like sent it out to people.
Oh, you're serious? Oh, wait, you're not joking. Oh, what?
I'm not joking.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, no.
Are you kidding me?
No, they used to send it. It wasn't here in it. I don't know. It wasn't big in Australia if it was, but that's how it started, I swear.
Oh, right, okay. In 2007, Netflix introduced streaming media. Okay, so the streaming site did exist in 2007. It's crazy to think that streaming existed in 2007. That's wild.
It is a weird thought. It is a very strange thought. Because I remember in 2015, 2014 was like my first kind of like experience with Netflix. My mate being like, "Oh, bro, we should go like halves in an account." I'm like, "What are you on about? This whole streaming thing's just a phase." Oh, and now I don't even watch television.
It's not a phase. It's not a phase. You do watch television. You watch Doctor Who.
I do watch Doctor Who, but you know what? You know what? I don't. Sorry, but I don't think the episode like Legend of the Sea Devils has actually gone to Australian television yet. It's only on our streaming services right now.
Ah, gotcha.
Fun fact.
But that's what we were going to say. That unfortunately, Legend of the Sea Devils has had the worst overnight ratings of any modern Doctor Who episode, and the most worrying thing is it's by quite a long way, because it pulled in 2.2 million viewers on Sunday night, which I don't know what the lowest was before. It was a Capaldi episode, apparently. I think it was something like... Someone said, I've seen people tweeting this going, oh, the lowest overnight was Capaldi, and like, you know, I'm so glad because he didn't deserve this. Blah, 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 blah.
Overnight maybe. Consolidated, I don't know.
Oh yeah, probably not consolidated.
I did a whole video on it, but those are consolidated figures, I think.
I'm just looking to try and find any kind of evidence to back up that it was a Capaldi episode first, and I can't find it off the top of my head because you can't trust Google. But I saw someone say something like that. It might not be true because I know some ratings.
It might be the Timeless Children.
Yeah. Could it be? Could it be? Is that possible?
Oh no, I think it might be Eaters of Light.
Oh, that might be it then. That might be it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I'm going to put Eaters of Light overnight ratings and just see what that pulled in, because then that'll tell us, because I'm wondering. Oh, wow. Eaters of Light was watched by 2.89 million viewers overnight. Wow. Yep. Okay, so maybe 2.2 million isn't the most shocking thing in the world, if that's happened before. Then again, Eaters of Light was like pretty forgettable, or is that a hot take? Like that
is not a hot take.
It's just series 10 is one of my favorite seasons. Like my top 3 seasons of Doctor Who. I don't know whether I've ever said this in the podcast, but the series 4, series 10, and Flux. To be honest, like I loved Flux that much. But like in series 10, one of the only ones I consider like not even a dud, but just forgettable is the Eaters of Light. Like I liked Empress of Mars. Like out of the two, and then I pick Empress of Mars.
I think they had to rework it because it was supposed to be earlier in series 10, and then they filmed all the Missy stuff afterwards, and so I don't know. And plus, I don't think the story is that compelling memorable necessarily.
It's nice for the moments with Bill and the Romans and like the LGBT stuff.
That was quite nice.
I liked that. But the idea that all crows carved because of that one girl that went and sacrificed herself, I was like, that's cheesy even for Doctor Who. I was like, I don't know about that. But yeah, so it's not the most dramatic drop in overnight ratings, like lowest record. But like Britain's Got Talent only pulled in 5 million viewers in the UK. Like that's a much lower cap than like the ceiling that was there for like Planet of the Dead, but like because Britain's Got Talent pulled in like 10 million viewers around the same Planet of the Dead did, so I think just less people watching TV generally. But speaking of the episode, we should probably talk about that in particular, because this is the most disjointed episode we've ever recorded. Can you tell we had a week apart and we couldn't remember how to record this?
It's strange because we actually have stuff to like talk. We have an episode. This is our first like official episode review.
I know.
And we're just all over the shop. We apologize, but I mean, what else do you expect from the podcast boys with a plan?
Yeah, the podcast with a plan. Once we get to Centenary, it'll just be like what I did of rambling, which we'll get to, because I actually came back to YouTube. Who saw that coming? Nobody did.
I did. You told me.
Oh, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. So what did you think of Legend of the Sea Devils? What would you give it out of 10?
Oh, so we're going to start with my rating.
Let's start with the score. Okay. Let's start with the score and then talk about it.
That's an excellent question there, Troy. Let me think. I would give it a solid... I gave the TV movie a 6 out of 10.
Do you know what? This is what was going through my head.
It's better than that.
This is what was going through my head. I was thinking maybe I was too... Perhaps I was too kind to the TV movie. That's literally what was going through my head.
Too.
I was like, no. I don't know whether I should have given the TV movie a 6 and give that more of a 4 or a 5 so I could give Legend of the Sea Devils like... I want to give it a 7. And the reason for that is...
I don't want to give it a 7.
I'm giving it a 7 because of the Thasmin stuff.
7.
If the Thasmin stuff wasn't there, it'd be more like a 5 or a 6. But like the Thasmin stuff was the highlight because they handled it really well, I feel like, and that's probably what we'll talk about for most of the episode. And like every time there was even a whiff of it, I was like, oh, Leonardo pointing. I was like, here we go.
Yeah, literally.
My biggest issue with the episode, I don't know about you, like you might have your issues that we can talk about. That sounds like it's not even about the episode. That sounded quite like therapeutic almost.
No. Please talk about my issues.
Start giving you therapy on the podcast. My biggest issue with it is the runtime, and it's one thing we said like really, really long ago in the podcast, in like episode 1 or 2 or something, where we kind of said like the runtime. You know, it shouldn't be a big worry that it's 50 minutes because maybe that means there won't be as much filler. You know, they're not going to stretch it out for the sake of it.
Yeah.
That's an episode that definitely should have had more time. There's no beating around the bush
100%.
there. Like, most of Whisker's episodes are like 50 minutes, and for Flux, they bounce between 50 and 60, and that was, 47 minutes, the Sea Devils episode?
It was incredible. Is it shorter than the entirety of Flux? Like, I mean, not the entirety, but I mean every episode.
Yeah, there's no Flux episode that short.
I find that so weird, and they've labeled it a special.
And that's the thing, when you think special episode, to me at least, I think longer than the typical episode. But I don't think how long was
100%.
Eve of the Daleks? Because I don't think Eve of the Daleks was like special length. In fairness, I'm going to look this up
I
now.
mean, I reckon it was more than 50 minutes.
Yeah, it was. It's just weird.
But this
No, it
episode
was.
definitely,
there you
like,
go.
needed
Eve of the
longer.
Daleks was 58 minutes. Legend of the Sea Devils
Yeah,
was
there
48.
you go. But that 10 minutes could have made all the difference in the world.
Orphan 55 is 47 minutes. I'm just looking to see if there's any episode shorter beyond that.
If there was ever an episode that should have been 55 minutes, it was that one.
The Witchfinders
I'm
is
kidding. That one should have
47
been
minutes.
55 seconds.
And that's it. So, Legend of the Sea Devils, the Easter Special, is the third shortest episode of the Jodie Whittaker era. That's
Stop.
crazy.
Stop. Is that
Like,
that's a who's their specific insight right there?
I genuinely
That's
loved
unreal.
the Sea Devils in it for all their incredible
Yeah,
Hulk
they were
jumping
awesome.
glory. Because that jump
Oh
was...
my gosh, that took me off guard completely.
I don't know,
was
like, just add the
whoa.
Mario sound effect
And
in
then
there.
never
like,
do it again.
Oh my goodness.
Never do it again.
Like, since when
That
could the
was
Sea Devils leave?
crazy.
I'm sat there going, I've not seen them before in like classic era. I've not seen their episodes, so can they do this in the past? I don't know. I'm suspicious.
I highly doubt it.
I highly doubt
highly
that
doubt
too.
it.
But and then also they're calling the Doctor very naughty words if the trending on Twitter is to be believed. Again, we're trying to keep the podcast clean, but if you know what we're talking about,
oh my gosh.
there's a moment the 13th Doctor makes a joke about like sharks don't give you credit card info out, which by the way is one of my favorite 13th Doctor puns. It's such a cringy pun,
Great
but
line.
I absolutely loved it.
Great line.
And the Sea Devil says like shouts quiet and walks off. But people have
Sounds like
suggested
something
that
else.
what he says sounds like something very, very, very different. And once you've heard it, you can't unhear it. So
It's on the rewatch. It's just so funny.
every time
It's
I've seen that clip pop up on my Twitter now about 5 times, and every time it just makes me laugh incoherently because I'm like, how did I not notice that when I watched it? I didn't even think.
Nah, it's brilliant.
It's just
It is
Twitter.
brilliant.
Twitter has poisoned me, you know?
But I don't know what Chibnall wanted out of this episode. I feel like there was an original script that was meant for Series 13, because this very much feels like a run-of-the-mill Doctor Who, like, Jodie story, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I feel like they've taken that script, they've moved it post-Flux, they've introduced Thasmin heavily in Eve of the Daleks, and then they've, like, sprinkled that throughout. But the annoying thing is that the Thasmin stuff is the most interesting thing and the most, like, exciting thing to happen in that episode.
Yeah.
So it's just, I feel like, you know, a lot of people were very, very excited for the Sea Devils. Like, unfortunately for our listeners, Troy and I aren't that familiar with the Sea Devils to begin with. So for us, I enjoyed them for what they were. They were pretty cool. I liked their cool lightning swords and their big eyes.
I love the sword fights. People say they didn't like the fights. They thought they were like too
I thought the
like,
sword
dull
fights
and
were
cheesy.
sick.
I loved them. And like 13
No,
doing
I
a front
mean-
flip and sliding down the side of the ship. That's the stuff I live for. The goofy stuff from
Yeah,
13. I love that.
absolutely. I mean, that's Doctor Who. Like, it's beautiful. And if you're going to do a pirate adventure and they didn't have a sword fight, come on, come on. You'd be complaining about
would.
that too.
Yeah. And I enjoyed the episode more than Curse the Black Spot.
I agree. I'm glad we can agree. We can probably end this podcast there.
Yeah,
we
like,
can end the podcast there.
it's just-
That's great. That's the
There's
best take.
just moments, and it was especially being on Mr. TARDIS' stream, he points a couple of things out. Like, I'm big on continuity things, and like he spotted a couple of things that I didn't notice, but one of them was that it doesn't really make sense that Dan is suddenly just with, what was his name? I've got the cast list up here, and I hope it's the right name. I think it's Ying Ki
Yun?
is the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
who that he's with. Or it might be, there's Ying Wai as well. I don't know who was who, Bar Ji Hun and Madame Ching. I don't remember all the names. So it was one of those two. I apologize if I got it the wrong person. One of those two guys, I don't know his name. But Dan is with him, and he goes like, "Oh, let's swim to the boat and get on there." We don't like properly see him split up from 13 and Yaz. It does seem like that was a bit disjointed.
No, it just kind of happens.
There wasn't much connective tissue.
Which is why
there.
you need like longer runtime
and
to
the-
fill
but the
in
other
these
thing
gaps.
I did notice, and I didn't even mention this on the stream, was it was very strange how like 13 and Yaz swung off the ship to get back onto Madame Ching's ship, and then about 5 minutes later went, "We've got to get back on that ship," but it was already kind of like half flying away, and how did they get back up there again?
Yeah.
That didn't
don't
make sense.
know.
I don't know how they got back up there, but I kind of like
There are a lot of
I noticed that watching it and just
annoying
brushed it
little
off.
things.
Yeah, I just brushed it off
Yeah.
and went, whatever.
Well, I kind of knew we were in for that, like from the get-go when they rock up to the town and the Sea Devil's like terrorizing everyone, and then out of nowhere, Yaz and Dan just have this net out of nowhere, and they go, "Whoa, we got him!"
I just wonder where that net came from. Yeah.
I have no idea. Was it just there? Like, was the Sea Devil just happen to be in that spot, and the Doctor's like, "Oh, I can read this situation well. Yaz and Dan just happen to already be standing there. I can make it look like I can get all the credit for this."
Just stand up as a pirate. Let's get some netting sat out. Let's pretend like we're playing
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves or something. I don't know what's going on. Which this
Yeah,
episode has
you were
made me want to
playing
play
that just
Sea of
before.
Thieves. I've never played Sea of Thieves, but like
What? I thought. Okay.
no, I just started
thought
playing
it
it this
said you
morning
were.
before we before we started recording. I'm like,
very
you know what, I'm
good,
going to play Sea
very
of
good.
Thieves. So the impact that Doctor Who has. There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
So yeah, it's weird because there's so much. Like, I really expected us to have a whole hour talking about the episode, but like, there's not a ton to say because there wasn't a ton to the episode. It did feel very run of the mill. Like, we didn't get a ton of time with the Sea Devils. One criticism I've seen a lot of people saying is that for a historical episode, we didn't get to find out much about Madame Ching. And
Yeah.
I kind of have this thing in my head where I'm thinking, well, first off, like, if you tried to compare it to Rosa, it would be unfair because they're similar length. Rosa's only a few minutes longer of an episode, but the episode is all about Rosa, so you'd expect to find tons of
100%.
stuff out about her, whereas this episode wasn't about Madame Ching. She was more of a supporting character.
100%
It was
not.
more meant to be the Sea Devils are back, and that was meant to be the focus, so I kind of don't mind not
And that's
knowing
what
as
it was.
much about
That was
Madame
what it
Ching.
was pitched as. It's not like it
Exactly.
was like pitched as a Madame Ching. I would be very disappointed if it was like marketed as a Madame Ching story. I'd be like, well, we didn't know much.
Yeah,
we didn't
that
learn
would
much.
be annoying. That would be. But also, I don't know if the whole finding treasure to rescue a crew thing is at all based on reality. It would be an interesting thing if they did manage to incorporate that and it was like almost like a tale, like a tall tale passed around about her, or a myth. Like, you know, stories say that she looked for treasure to rescue her crew at one point because her crew and her family were kidnapped. Like, if that's not made up, that's some interesting stuff about Madame Ching. That's quite interesting to know that about a pirate. But I don't know if that's true or not.
If not, it could have been like, oh, Chibnall just wanted to do a
If not, it's still an interesting story.
Looked up famous pirates and was like, oh yeah,
yeah, she'll do.
That's great.
I don't know. You know, it's odd. So I kind of get the criticism, but I also
hang
don't
on.
care.
I did think the guest cast were pretty good though. I thought they were great.
Crystal
like,
Yu as Madame
I-
Ching. Like I said, this was it last episode. No, it was episode 7 for everyone else because of the way we recorded it all janky. I know her from being in Casualty, a UK TV series, and I loved her in that. So just getting her to see her in Doctor Who was just as cool as I thought it would be. But yeah, the cast generally were really good. The guy who played Ji-hun, what was his name? Arthur Lee, who by the way has put a new headshot up. I can see it on IMDb, and he's got the wildest hair in existence, and I love it. Have you seen this headshot of him? I'm going to send it to you, and I'll put it.
No,
I'll put it in the podcast
send it my way
so that everyone can see, because it. You know when people make the joke of this image goes hard, like this image does indeed go hard. It's a very very cool image. I'm gonna have to like take a screenshot in snipping tool to send it to you because for some reason I can't right click and save. What is this? An NFT?
It might be.
It might be. Let's hope
that would
not.
go hard.
No, it wouldn't
Right,
go
let's go.
hard. NFTs can go in the bin, and that's about it. There you go. Look at that.
Wow.
Look at that hair.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at that hair.
That's a proper swoosh.
What's a king? I love that hair. I want that hair. I'm gonna do that myself.
He was great. He was great in the episode.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I loved the, where's the crew?
Yeah, I really enjoyed
That's
it.
us. We don't stand a chance. I loved that.
That
was really cool.
It was quite nice. Yeah, no, I thought like, and it didn't feel as convoluted as, say your Orphan 55s or whatever. Like there was quite a large guest cast, but I feel like everyone like kind of had their role to play and there weren't necessarily any people on the sideline. You could argue that Dan was on the sideline, but I kind of enjoyed the relationship he had with that one character.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
I just like when Dan's on the screen.
I don't know. I do love when
he's just there
great.
to get your soup and that's it,
Oh,
And the moment,
gonna get
actually,
that
the moment
soup.
between Dan and Di, because there's one thing in the episode we haven't talked much about that's coming.
yeah.
That's coming. We're obviously going to go Thasmin in a minute, but that was the most
100%.
unexpected thing of that episode was the Dan and Di moment. Because
I loved it.
I liked the Vanquishers, and I know I'm in a small group because I know you did not like it. And one thing we want to do, like I've mentioned this to Crispy ages ago, but we're probably going to start doing it soon. One thing we want to do for episodes is like one episode review, like a particular series. It's like looking back on series 1, looking back on series 2.
Yeah,
so eventually we'll
that'd
probably
be
do one
great.
for Flux, and we can talk about the Vanquishers when we get to that point. But I liked the finale. I really did. But the one thing I wasn't super keen on was that it just kind of felt like a bit of a lead balloon moment with Dan saying to Di, are we going to get that drink? And she was like, do you mind if we don't? And I get it from a story beat perspective, and I'm like, okay, I get it that, she probably would feel a bit dodgy. He did stand her up, but it also wasn't his fault. And like he also indirectly helped save her from the trouble she got wrapped up in. So it's kind of like it's an but I just didn't like it. It felt like a bit of a down moment at the end of what I thought was a good finale. So I just didn't expect them to ever touch on that again because there were only 3 episodes left. I thought, well, that's it for Di, I guess. But them actually going back and like revisiting that and giving Dan probably a good happy ending for the Centenary and referencing it now that he might end up with her. That was lovely. It was so unexpected.
That's nice.
And I loved it.
It was a really nice, like my jaw genuinely dropped. I was like, oh, This is quite nice.
It was funny though, because for a fellow Scouser, even though I'm not quite like Scouser in my accent, I didn't hear what he said properly at the start of the phone call. I thought he said, "You're right, Dad." I thought he was like trying to tell his mum and dad about him traveling, and I didn't realize. And then he got the call, and I was like, "Oh, he said die. Oh, it's die. What?" Like it was kind of like a realizing on the go moment, which I thought was quite funny. But that was lovely.
It was very heartfelt.
I did really like the look of the Sea Devils, though. I'll say that. Like the prosthetics were really cool.
100%.
A little strange, obviously, that they weren't talking with their actual mouths, but it made sense from a kind of a filming perspective and making sure that they. It didn't ruin the outfit of just having these big mouths move, but they kind of did have like the movement that was a bit goofy when they were talking, which was a bit strange.
Did you see like the warp they had on the throat of the Sea Devils at some point? It was like vroom, vroom, vroom.
I loved the way it was done. I honestly liked it.
It was cool though.
Yeah, it's goofy. It was cool. Once you get past how goofy it is, I really did like it. I thought it was cool.
Doctor Who is goofy.
Yeah, the Sea Devil literally leapt up like the Incredible Hulk with a Mario jump noise. So that's the thing you pick out for goofiness for a Sea Devil if you want to go there. But I really liked it. I really, really, really liked it. And I thought that they did a good job with the episode. It was very run-of-the-mill. Like, there wasn't anything too stand out in the plot or, like, anything from, but I still really had a good time with it. And at the end of the day, that's what matters. You know what I mean? It was a good.
But what was the best part of it, Troy?
The best part of it. What was the best
part of the episode?
The best part of it was all of the Thasmin moments because, wow, we were... What is it the Twitter stands say? We were fed. We were well fed. Is that what they say?
We were well fed.
We were well fed. So obviously, as you all should know by now, in Eve of the Daleks, we finally got the confirmation that there was some kind of romantic tension between Yaz and 13. There was a joke about it in Series 11 that everyone kind of went, ha, yeah, they're not going to do that, are they, surely? And then in Series 12, everyone was kind of like, it's just kind of... I don't think there was much of a hint in Series 12. Maybe there was a couple of bits.
There was a big one. There was a Haunting of Villa Diodati.
Yeah, that one was... Yeah, there was that.
She's like, my person looks a little bit different.
I did think that for a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But for me, it was also Revolution of Daleks, which was like, I'm not ready to let you go just yet, and all the stuff she said to Captain Jack about you feeling cruel and how much she'd become attached. Because obviously, so we know Captain Jack kind of had feelings for the Doctor, so like it felt like there was very much a conversation about that without it being a conversation about that. But obviously in Flux, the biggest one was the hologram. Like, we knew from that hologram scene. Like, how many times has she played that, the way she looked about it, the way Dan kind of eyed her up and was like, what's going on there?
I was like, oh,
so getting that confirmation in Eve was brilliant, and getting to have that scene, and just love that Dan is just like the big LGBT stan. I love that.
He's just a supporter.
He's just the big supporter. Like, every grin he gives them and everything is just so cute. I love it. But obviously, a lot of us were wondering...
It's very well done.
A lot of us were wondering going into this episode how they were going to carry that on. Would there be only a bit of it in Sea Devils? Would most of it be in the Centenary? Like, how would they work it? Loads of it in Sea Devils. Like, a good 3 or 4 different moments in the episode where they're talking about it. And, like, just in the very beginning, they're not a bad date, am I? As soon as she said that, I was like, wow,
we're in for something now.
We're in for a ride here.
Something.
Good grief.
But it was handled so well.
Was
like,
so
that's what I like.
Because
it wasn't so like in your face, like this is like a Thasmin episode.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so like underlying that people would miss it. Yeah. Like, it was definitely
it's obviously
there
enough to annoy all the haters, but who cares?
Yeah, it will be.
Who cares, honestly?
But who cares?
Dr. Woke!
Block them all on Twitter.
It's Dr. Woke! Dr. Woke! Shut up. Get out. Get out of this room.
Get out. Leave.
Leave.
I think it was handled really, really nicely and really, really delicately. And it was kind of beautiful to see on screen. Like, I haven't gotten... without sounding too cheesy, but like butterflies like that surrounding Doctor Who in quite some time.
Yeah, it was
like,
so lovely.
I didn't expect to be this invested in Yaz, because I remember making a video on her back in like 2018 being like, this is like such an undercooked companion. Like, what is going on here? But now, it's taken 3 seasons, but I'm genuinely invested, and which is so annoying because it's going to hurt so much the next episode, but that's okay.
It was, I think Can You Hear Me was the big one for getting like the kind of the suicide background for her. That was like a dark
100%,
thing, but like that was a really cool
we got to know
character beat for her to find out stuff about her, and I loved that whole 50p thing. That was so lovely. That was like a proper highlight of that episode. But yeah, just the way it was done, and 13 mentioning River. I've always said the one thing I wanted to see from this era was River finding out that her husband was her wife, and I will always be sad that we, presuming, never got to see that. I know people are going, what if River comes up in the last episode? Highly doubt it. Like, they've got enough in that episode to cram in that River's not going to show
so
up.
much.
But don't worry, what the TV show that lacks in Big Finish will no doubt make up for. If you're trying to tell me that Jodie Whittaker will not jump on Big Finish as soon as she can, you're dreaming. She's no doubt
Dreaming.
going to. And Alex Kingston
Absolutely
loves
dreaming.
that stuff. So there'll be what is it? Space
Have you,
Wives. There'll be a Space Wives.
Oh yeah, the
box
Space
set.
Wives people.
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
heard Redacted yet?
No, I haven't actually.
I listened to it just before.
Oh, did you? How was it?
It's pretty damn good.
Right, I'm gonna give it a listen. And we can talk about it.
You'll be surprised at some of the stuff that they reference. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
That's
How long's
all
the
I'll say.
episode?
It's 20 minutes, mate.
Okay, cool. Dead easy to listen to. Sweet. Well, we'll get that for the next week.
It's about two and a bit Legend of the Sea Devils.
Okay. Well, Legend of the Sea Devils. We still got to finish off the final scene on the beach because this era, the way that when Jodie Whittaker with series first started, I liked her Doctor from the beginning. I didn't obviously love her, but I did like her Doctor, and I just kind of went into it was like, these episodes are good. They're not quite as much my vibe. It's so crazy how much that's changed and how addicted to this era I've
Got a
become.
complete 180, mate.
And how not even a 180 because like I said, I liked it to begin with. It just wasn't as hooked. But just how much more so I've
about
become.
A 60. I don't know how
a 90 degree.
What degree?
We're kind of all
degree?
don't ask the
A
master
solid
to
right
say,
angle.
Yeah, solid right angle. You know what I mean? But just her saying, "I wish this moment would last forever," and I was just like, "Don't do this."
Oh.
Don't do this
to me
not
now,
do
please.
this. Especially rolling into the Centenary trailer right after that was cruel. That was really cruel.
Yeah.
But I read it. It was really funny. That last scene, one of my favorite lines in the whole era was Yaz saying about, "Oh no, I've got to get the quote. I've got to get the exact quote, and I will cut it in the podcast if I need to. I need to see the exact quote she had because it was a line that I thought was absolutely beautiful." I'm going to keep talking as filler to see if I can get the quote up quickly before we talk about it. I don't think it's going to load.
Was this
that.
in the beach scene?
It was in the beach scene. It was in the beach scene.
Oh, okay.
Where is the quote?
I'm pretty. Oh no, I know what the quote was. She was like, "Rose Tyler, and then she faded away.
Stop. Here we go.
What is it with Doctor
So
Who and
Yaz
beach
said
scenes?
that Anand said that courage is knowing something will hurt and doing it anyway. That is
Wow.
I love that. I love that quote. She then obviously said it's also the definition of stupidity, which is probably true. But
Yeah.
that quote is just so good. I love that quote to bits.
That was really well done.
So much that I just
Damn
knocked
it,
the arm of my
Chibnall.
chair as I was going along, so I probably heard that in the audio. That's funny. But that
fine.
was a beautiful line. But when I was watching that scene, I read it one way and then Twitter read it a different way, and now I don't know which way to read it. Because obviously the argument that 13's making is that, she does love Yaz, but she doesn't want to be with her because she knows that nothing is forever. She's already had the warning about her death. She's just scared that it'll all go wrong again, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And when you think about it, historically, relationships in Doctor Who have never really worked out very well. You had David Tennant, Rose, and Billy Piper, Tennant and Rose, where it was confessed too little, too late. And then we had
Shambles,
Martha Jones,
Shambles.
where she was like, "I don't go for aliens," and then the next episode is squeezing up to him in bed, and that never goes anywhere because Ten's my Rose.
I miss me Rose.
And then I know there's references about was there a romantic thing maybe between 11 and Clara for a little bit, and a little bit of a boy toy kind of thing. And then obviously there's some people that reckon that 12 and Clara had a romantic relationship.
Absolutely not. What? I've never heard.
You never heard that? There's a whole group of people on Twitter who
they were
reference
more
it and say it's a more chill, not a young kind of romance, but there was a bit of a romantic thing between them. They did love each other, but in a more married couple kind of way.
I thought it was just not necessarily apprentice, because that was more Bill, I guess. But Clara was basically trying to be the Doctor's equal in the end, I guess. So I never really saw anything
some
romantic
people think that
there.
what she said in the Cloister Bell was that in the Cloisters was that she loved him, and that we never heard it or something.
I completely forgot about that.
She does say something to 12, and we never found out what it was. But whatever the point being is that romantic relationships are never really, they don't have the chance to flourish in Doctor Who. It's never been something that's happened in the show. So it's not exactly non-characteristic for it to be going this way. But when they had that discussion, and then Yaz said, courage is knowing something will hurt but doing it anyway. I thought for a second it had persuaded 13, and then she was just kind of let's just live in the moment then and make the most of it. But I realise now that actually she's trying to say that we just enjoy things as they are.
Yeah.
And I don't know which way. Is it that she's saying enjoy things as she are? She probably is, right? But I was kind of hoping Yaz had persuaded her with one line, because that would have been amazing.
No. No, the way I saw it was the Doctor being like, yeah, of course, I've got feelings for you, but I've been through so damn much, and I know my time's running out. I can't do this. Let's just be happy sitting here on this beach right now.
Yeah,
which is beautiful, which is stunning, and that's exactly how I want them to handle Thasmin, and then they're going to break my heart next episode.
I
But
want
that's
them
fine.
to
As of
kiss
now,
on the beach.
so happy. I thought they were, but I
thought
think
they were
they
going
they're going to save it. They're going to save it for the next episode.
If they have
and it's
to
gonna
kiss,
hurt.
like that's how invested I am right now. If they don't kiss, I'm gonna hate the Centenary. That's like big on my list now for things I want to
Really?
happen. I'm not gonna hate the episode, obviously, but I will be upset if they don't. They've built it up that much.
I think that they have to.
And it's a big
But
thing. Like
there's-
also don't want the show
yeah.
to be accused of queer baiting, because that's
No,
like,
No.
And
And
I'm
I
not
don't think
going to
they
spoil
are.
the show this time, because I did do it in Mr. TARDIS's live stream. But a show ended very recently where there was hinting at that, and then it was very much a queer bait thing because there was a kiss, and then one of the people died immediately afterwards. Now, as we know, that's what's going to happen with Doctor Who, but that's a different scenario because we know that's how it's going to go
it's
down.
kind of different.
That show had an ending completely different to the source material that it came from, because in the source material, there was a gay
wow.
couple that lived happily ever after. Not how it went down in the show.
Interesting.
So that's completely different. But we're so you've obviously got to try and avoid that because queer baiting is such a big kind of like trope at this point in TV, and it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Like, obviously,
No,
sometimes it
100%
works
not.
for a story beat, and it's kind of like, it's too little too late, in like a 10 and Rose kind of way. Obviously, that's not queer, but you get the point. But like, for every single one, that's why it's a trope, because it's so common, and I don't want Doctor Who to be a victim of that. I want them to do it well. But how they've done it in Legend of the Sea Devils tells me that in the Centenary, they will do it well. That they're handling it delicately.
I think so.
They're putting the time into it that it deserves, and that we'll get that in the Centenary.
And that's what's needed. But there is a massive rumor going around right now that the kiss they do share will be, I think we talked about this, might be more along the lines of like 9 and Rose.
Don't do that.
Did it
Don't
to like
do that
save
to me.
her?
Don't do that to me.
And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that
I
necessarily.
will cry
You know?
so much. I don't even want to think about that. I don't want to think about that.
I don't know.
I don't want to
I don't know
acknowledge
if
that's
I
a
want it to be
possibility.
that.
I don't even not at all. Absolutely not.
I don't know.
But speaking of the
But I do think it
Centenary,
will be towards the end of the episode.
should we
let's talk about Centenary.
Because we've been recording now 50
Centenary.
minutes. I think we've cut out a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
So we
yeah.
kind of were bouncing all over the place, getting used to recording again. So we're probably only about 40 minutes in. This episode's going to be longer than an hour. I can just see that coming right from the beginning. So I just think it's going to be a laugh. Ha ha ha.
I'm so proud of you.
So
Thank
proud
you.
of me. Thank you so much. But let's talk about that, because that 30 seconds just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Like I was saying to Crispy, like I haven't made a video on my like non-gaming channel, The Cosmic Vortex, for 3 months now, and I was like, what better way to get back into that? Because I've done the same thing. I've done I'm returning video for Red Archer Live as well. I'm back on both the channels. I'm going to try and do weekly content for
back,
both.
baby.
Probably going to be weekly for just Red Archer Live and just stuff for Cosmic whenever I get chance. But I'll try and do it for both. Who knows? But I thought, what better way to come back on the Cosmic channel than by talking about that Centenary trailer? And it's got like 200 views against 300 subs, which is really cool. I'm quite happy about that. So, anyone on the podcast who wants to give it a listen, I'm just going to shout it out here.
go on.
Crispy can do nothing about it.
check
Please
it
go
out.
watch it. Thank you. But
I've already commented on it,
You
mate.
have.
Thank
You're
you
the
very
only
much.
comment. So got lots of views, but no comments. And I was sad. So when you commented, I was like, yay, that's good.
Yay.
But the fact that I managed to get a 10-minute video out of the 30-second trailer and easily could have got much more out of it says how much there was in that trailer. Because I was not dragging it out at all. I was like just trying to ram like through every single thing and go through all the screenshots and clips and stuff. And it like 10 minutes was a rush. There was so much in there. Where do you want to start? What do you want to pick out from that trailer?
Sacha Dhawan.
The legend, the man,
Sacha
the myth, the
Dhawan.
icon.
The man, the myth, the icon,
I found
indeed.
my signed print item. I put it away when I was redecorating my room. Now I need somewhere to put it, and I'm gonna put it on my wall somewhere. But I found my signed print, which makes me very happy. Sadly, didn't meet him.
yeah,
I paid
baby.
for it on an online store that was doing a signing at the time. But I will meet him. It will happen. I did, by the way, I did realise that Bernard Cribbins is going to another Comic Con in London in July, and I'm genuinely considering going just for him, but they literally don't think I have the money for it. So stay tuned. I will try and save up and actually make it happen. I will genuinely have to save up for it. That's the point we're at. But will I go just for Bernard?
That's an arc.
Who knows?
That's an arc for the podcast.
Yeah, he's going
That's
there.
something
He's
people
going
can get
there.
behind.
Like London Film and Comic Con, and also a British actor called Philip Glenister. If you've ever seen Life on Mars or Ashes to Ashes, he was in that. He's a brilliant guy, and I would love to meet him. So there's two people there. So maybe I don't think it'll happen, but I will try. But I love Sacha Dhawan. We know this. He's my favorite master out of the whole era. Not by like a landslide or something. I love John Sim and Michelle Gomez, but Sacha just takes the cake for me ever so slightly. So obviously we knew he was going to be in it. Flux hinted at it, but seeing him in the trailer was very, very cool. His outfit was kind of different. Like I don't know, like that fit was a
here's the
bit
thing.
strange. We had like the kind
Here's
of
the thing.
yeah.
We saw two very different
Yeah.
Sacha Dhawan looks. We had the clean shaven in which seems to be spending a lot of time with Yaz, which makes me very concerned.
Very, very, very
Makes
concerned.
me very, very concerned.
And then we have Tom Hanks' Castaway Master.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last shot of the trailer, I'm pretty sure, where he looks like
not the
there's
last
hair
shot.
everywhere. He's disheveled.
Don't get confused
Is it not
over the last
I thought it was
shot.
the last shot. Oh no, my bad.
You know the last shot. We're getting there. We'll get
The last
there.
shot is your profile picture right now, and
literally
it's
is my
been
profile
replaying
picture.
for me this entire thing. I've just been looking at it, reminded of what's the horrors to come.
Yep, the horrors to come.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Sacha Dhawan coming back is obviously the big thing that we knew was coming. But speaking of people
Massive.
coming back, what on earth is going on? Lone Cyberman? Hello?
Hello.
I know Tegan and Ace are the big thing, and we'll get there in a minute, but for me, as someone who's not seen very much Classic Who, seeing the Lone Cyberman, one of the best things to come out of this era, not be dead
I
from the tissue
100%
compressor
agree.
that we thought had killed the Lone Cyberman. How does that work? We have no idea.
I don't know how they're going to explain
I
it
leapt
in the
out
slightest.
of my seat. I was like, Shad, I
couldn't
was like,
believe
what is he
it.
doing here? I was like, what is he doing here?
Well, that's cool.
It's
that's
so
cool.
good.
I mean, if Chibnall's going out, then go out with a bang, mate. You're doing what you're doing,
yeah,
mate.
Dalek, Cybermen, and the Master, which I think someone had said was the first time that had happened in Doctor Who. But then I saw someone else
Like
said
all-
that had
all three
happened
of them
somewhere
together?
else, but I don't know. But like having all three in the same
tell you,
episode is
mate.
going to be cool. I think that the Daleks will very much be like Time of the Doctor level, where they're kind of in it a bit and then out of the way.
Yeah.
I think it's mainly going to be Cybermen and
kind of
Master,
around.
because the thing I've realised is, remember, the Master still has the Cyberium in him, as far as we know.
He does.
So all
He
the Cybermen
does.
could still answer to the Master. They could still be a team-up thing. It could be just another Cybermen Master story. And you know, I don't completely hate that. I don't hate that. You know? There's a lot going on in that episode.
Do you think, like, if you got, like, a tin or, like, a can of Cyberium, do you reckon it says on the side that it will cause, like, rapid facial hair growth and long hair growth? What do you reckon? Do you reckon that's what's happened there?
Maybe.
Is just a side effect of the Cyberium?
Could be, who
Is
knows?
severe.
It caused him to do some weird funky dancing and some screaming, so maybe hair growth
Yeah.
is another thing, you know? You know, maybe it is. Maybe it is. We don't know.
Side
We do not
effects
know.
may include.
Yeah, side effects may include dying when the 13th Doctor dies.
Correct.
That's what makes me sad, is knowing that Sacha Dhawan's Master is probably not going to happen again after Jodie leaves. Like in
You
terms
never
of
know.
in terms of returning Masters, we had John Sim come back, obviously, but is that the only exception? Like, has a Master ever returned past their own era?
Well, how cool would it be to have a multi-master story now with Sacha Dhawan involved?
Is he in the Masterful box set on Big Finish?
I don't know. I've got no idea.
This is coming from someone who hasn't listened to any Big Finish stories, but I do follow a lot of the stuff they do. There was a Big Finish box set called Masterful that literally had like every different Master it could possibly have had in it, and a bunch of Big Finish
Did it
ones
come
as
out?
well.
Did it come out before him though?
It came out in January 2021, so a year after Sacha Dhawan was announced as the Master. However, Sacha Dhawan is not in it. Oh, of course not, because they can't touch. They can't touch Jodie's era till
Yeah, they
it's
can't
over.
do anything yet. Yeah, no.
Oh, such a
I was
shame.
about to say, I don't think they can do anything.
Yeah, but there's loads
hey,
of people like Alex
still
McQueen,
time.
Mark Gatiss, loads of people playing the Master that aren't even in the Master in TV. Like it's a whole big
pretty
thing.
cool.
Big Finish love to do.
That's pretty cool.
So, they could do that for Big Finish. But yeah, I would like to see Sacha Dhawan come back again. He's like so good. But who knows? Maybe they'll write him out. Maybe they will kill him off in the Centenary. We don't know. I mean, we've had this theory
just don't know.
I've had this theory that I think you agreed with, where that the Michelle Gomez, the Missy is the final Master, and that Sacha
Yeah.
Dhawan comes after John Sim, and it would make sense with how Menike is. Like it's
I
just
agree.
John Sim up to 11. So there's I feel like there's just an undisclosed number of Masters between Sasha and Michelle Gomez. So I don't believe we'll see like Sasha's Master die the way Missy did, but we might see him like be mortally wounded and just see him kind of trudge off into the corner and regenerate without knowing. We don't know for sure.
Wouldn't it be insane if we saw a Michelle Gomez regeneration? Like they haven't addressed like where he is in the
Yeah.
timeline at all, and that just happens, and Michelle Gomez is in the episode. Wouldn't that be the coolest thing, though?
So let's talk
Who
about
knows?
Tegan and Ace. Like
Yes,
that is
yes. Let's
some people
the
knew
big
that.
headline.
Was that leaked apparently about Ace, but not Tegan?
There was massive rumors that Ace was going to be in the special, and Mr. TARDIS actually was kind of on the forefront of that because he had an interview from ages ago.
Yeah.
And in that, she was talking about the filming schedules of the classic era and the filming schedule of the new era, and a lot of people were like, how the heck does she know
How does
about
she
the
know
filming
that?
schedules
Yeah.
of the new era? And then, I don't know, a lot of people put two and two together. And then, so I was very happy. I haven't seen, like, admittedly, Troy and I we haven't seen a lot of classic Who. We got a lot of homework to do. I'm pretty sure
have.
Mr. Tardis gave you homework. I'm gonna copy your notes because I need to get on that grind as well. But yeah, so I had this slightest suspicion that Ace was coming back, but Tegan threw me for 6.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
I didn't
What
recognize
is the
Tegan,
deal
I'll be
there?
honest. My classic companion knowledge is not great. But, like,
I didn't. You can see my reaction. I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
But immediately went on Twitter. I'm like, oh my god, it's Tegan.
As soon as I saw Ace, though, I was like, Ace? And my mum looked at me, she was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, that's a classic companion. She went, what? I was like, yeah, this is, you know, like,
I should know Tegan because she's Aussie.
well, yeah, good point. You should.
Yeah.
I just wish I'd met Sophie because she was at London Comic Con Spring. I didn't meet her, and I should have done now, and it annoys me.
Ugh.
Look, the
That's
Diamond
all right.
Pass was
I'm
expensive.
sure she'll do
okay?
heaps of stuff.
The Diamond Pass, I have the pop next to me because I got it out on Mr. TARDIS' stream. This Diamond Pass was expensive, okay? I couldn't afford anything else. I couldn't. But if she ever goes to the Comic Con, I will meet her. I need to, like, that's one I've wanted to watch a lot is watch the Ace episodes or just like Sylvester McCoy because I know people love those. Like they're very well
people have said
received.
they're
And
so good.
The Ace is kind of like was part of the base plate for Rose Tyler when Russell T Davies was bringing back Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So like that's always been a thing I've wanted to see. Like, okay, let's see Ace and see where that came from.
Well, perhaps that's a future podcast episode.
It might well
friend.
be. It might well be. You know, because I think Survival, like the last serial, is the one that's kind of like in a counselor state at one point,
Yeah.
isn't it? Which is very Rose Tyler. So, like that would be cool to watch and kind of react to, or talk about, I should say. Which, speaking of which, we still
Very
got our
much so.
reaction for the Doctor Who TV movie. Did I send you my? I don't know whether I sent you my end of it, but were you going to make a video out of that?
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah,
I
you
want
should see what you can do with that.
I want to do a series where I watched this Doctor for the first time in 2020, whatever year this is.
There
too.
you go, and I could be a special guest and give me lots of subscribers and viewers from it. Haha, very
lots
cool.
of subs and viewers.
Get
mate.
me all them subs and viewers, mate. Get me all of them.
All of them.
All of
but
them.
the one thing I love about Sophie Aldred, the lady that plays Ace, is she is still so vocal in the community.
Yeah, she really is.
Like my Twitter blew up with her replies to all of the tweets, and everyone was so happy. And I don't know, mate. Like she's done interviews with WhoTubers and stuff before. We could try something. We could try and pull some strings. So if you happen to be listening to this right now, Troy and I would love to just have a chat with you.
Yes, we
You know,
would.
now that the cat's out of the bag, why not give us the
I think I should watch
scoop,
some of our
mate?
episodes first, but yes, we would very much like to.
Oh, yeah, yes. We'll do our homework.
I'll binge. I think my BritBox subscription ends like tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to get to work, or I'll just renew it. I was just gonna cancel it to save money, but I might just renew it for the sake of her.
Yeah, please renew it.
Yeah, Sophie, if you could just send me £6 to pay for it, so I can watch your episodes, that'd be great.
Yes, thank you, Sophie.
Oh, honestly. But yeah, so I'm really glad to see her. That like, it's good, just good to have some classic companions. But Kate Stewart, we've got Kate Stewart. We're glad that she's coming back.
Where's me Osgood?
Where's Osgood? Exactly. That's one thing I think.
Where
we'll
is
see
me Osgood?
I think we'll get a bit of Osgood.
Do you actually think we'll see Osgood?
I don't think we'll get much, but I think we'll see Osgood with a bit more Capaldi-inspired outfit. You know, she kind of changed her
you
outfit
did
a
say
little
that
bit.
on
I want
Mr.
to, yeah,
Tardis stream.
I want to
Yeah,
see her.
that would be
like,
cool.
No bow tie
That
now,
would be
just a white
so
shirt,
sick.
done up, no tie.
Yeah.
Just some kind of Capaldi nod would be really cool. Yeah, so I want to see Osgood come back. I think that'll be good. The spacesuit returning. The best,
Oh,
the best
I
character,
can't believe
the
I
best
didn't bring
character is
that up.
returning to the show. The orange spacesuit is back.
The most consistent character, apart from Planky, if you guys know who Planky is, shout out to you.
Oh, of course. I
But-
shout out my videos. He's going to shout out his.
Yeah, I have to.
That got me, though.
Please.
I was like, I never noticed that, and I hate you for pointing it out.
It's annoyed me. Not annoyed me. It's just I've always been like, oh, there it is again.
Watch Crispy Pro's most recent video. Actually, it won't be his most recent video by the time this goes up. It'll be like his second most
absolutely
recent
not.
video.
Probably.
But yeah, his next video is him uploading the full version of Troy, I'm So Sorry, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, on loop, 10-hour loop.
Exactly. Lo-fi Troy, I'm So Sorry beats to study and relax to. But no, you did a video, didn't you, talking about this one prop that gets
Doctor
used
Who's
in like
biggest Easter egg.
yeah, in like 10 different episodes, and it's just like
Yep.
It's the
just
Kill the
there.
Moon one that got me. It was so obnoxious because like, it's been in all these episodes, and all of a sudden, bang! It seals and a hole in the air, and I was like, wow, okay. So yeah, that was a
Gets a
very cool
speaking
video.
role.
I liked that video, Crispy Pro. It was a very entertaining
I'm
video.
glad
I
you-
liked and subscribed.
Glad you enjoyed that one.
It was very cool.
Thank you. Really appreciate that.
yeah.
But yes,
I've
I'm
only
going
just
to
subscri-
like and subscribe to the Centenary because of that damn orange spacesuit.
Oh, honestly, that there's a pic of Jodie in the outfit, and like again, like just for the meme. Pics that go hard. That is like the hardest pic of her era. I
It's
love
so
that
cool.
image of her just
It
looking behind
is
her in the
gangster.
spacesuit. And John Bishop. Dan wearing the spacesuit.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Cracked helmet with a bullet hole in it, and also him holding the Sonic, which I didn't notice until Mr. TARDIS pointed that out. Like, why has he got Jodie's Sonic? What's happening there? What's the deal? What's the dealio? What's going on?
I know what's happened.
I
know exactly what's happened. Jodie been bloody. She's wearing the suit. She gets shot in the head by Yaz, who's holding a gun in that trailer. Yeah. All right. So she's been shot in the head. That's where the bullet hole comes from. All right.
This is already far too dark for my liking.
Because of that, she's like, "Oh my gosh." She takes it off. Dan's like, "Oh, that's a sick outfit." Chucks it on. And then she's like, "I need to go and bloody have a shower." And then she starts regenerating. So in that little...
I need to go and have a shower.
Shower. Yeah, well, if I get shot in the head, I don't want all blood everywhere. Have a shower, mate.
Also, is bloody a swear word? Like, can we keep this clean with you saying that? I don't know.
I'm Australian. It's part of my dialect.
Okay, we'll count it as that then. We'll count it as that and hope that we don't get banned on everything for foul language.
Asylum of the dialect.
Asylum of the dialect. Go away. But speaking of people with guns, Vinder's coming back.
Oh my gosh, I keep forget. Was he in the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He's in the trailer. There's a promotional image.
Like a second.
I loved Vinder.
How cool, though.
I loved him.
I like
I'm
Vinder
very
as
glad
well.
that he's coming back, and I hope that means Belle comes back too.
You and I disagree on a few things on Flux, but I feel like we can agree that Vinder and Belle are quite...
Belle was a badass.
Like
Vinder was a badass. And I love how someone was it someone in Mr. TARDIS's chat said something like, "Oh, I can't. There's still time for them to reveal that Vinder and Belle are the Doctor's parents because they're coming back." And I was like,
it
"Oh, we really?"
It still might happen, mate.
I mean, there is the argument
with
that
all the timeless child stuff that is no doubt going to get addressed.
It would be interesting, you know. It would be interesting. We're gonna call this child the Doctor or something like.
We named them after you.
Yeah, we named them after you. Yeah, we called them Steve.
We call them Steve.
That's the Doctor's name. Did Moffat never tell you that? I had a call with Moffat at one point. He told me the Doctor's real name was Steve.
Did you?
Yeah. But yeah, so Vinder coming back, lone Cyberman, Ace whacks a Dalek with a bat at one point for like 0.3 seconds of the trailer. Someone spotted that I didn't even clock. Very cool.
It's going to be iconic.
The Master's coming back, the Dalek's coming back, Kate Stewart's coming back, John Bishop wears the suit, the 13 wears the suit, Yaz has a gun in the TARDIS for some reason. There is a lot of rumors going around right now that the Master like hypnotizes Yaz, or that there's a theory that when she was in the creepy hair electric place in Spyfall that she became an agent for the Master and has been a sleeper agent ever since.
That's been going on for years.
That isn't true. Because it almost like, does it then make the Thasmin stuff a bit kind of, does it disturb that a bit?
Well, not necessarily.
Does it become a kind of a trope where, I was trained to kill you, but I fell in love with you instead? I don't want another River song. I don't want that.
No, I don't think it'll be like, if they do it, it'll be like a Bucky Barnes situation.
Yeah. Where you start like reading the words in Russian.
Yes.
How do I say the Russian words right now so I can get it right and then trigger the Winter Soldiers in the
Homecoming.
Yeah, Homecoming. That was the biggest like Marvel like tease was just teasing Spider-Man Homecoming.
Wink
in
at the audience.
Freight car, longing.
Yeah.
Rusted. One. Homecoming. I know they're all words from it. My Marvel memory is Thasmin. Imagine if the last word, like in the one version where Bucky's like punching his way out of the cell in Civil War, and he's going, freight car, longing, rusted, 17, homecoming, 1, Thasmin punches the door. Boom. That would be the funniest thing. Someone's gonna make that an edit now. Just Thasmin.
Oh please.
And then he's just like ready to comply. Okay, now go and make Thasmin kiss. Go and make it happen. Do it. But yeah, so I don't know if I like the idea of it being a sleeper agent because it would make me very upset, which is probably the point. Because there's a couple of shots of the Master with Yaz and the Master in between Yaz and 13 and trying to like get in the middle of that and all that. So
something's going on.
Maybe he finds out that there's a romantic tension between them and uses it to pull them apart. Proper vindictive Master behavior, you know? It's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
Unless they're like working together to like mess up this line.
Yeah, someone said the idea is that the Master might trick Yaz and make her think that, you know, he's going to try and save the Doctor. But I feel like Yaz is too smart for that.
Doesn't.
Yaz has known 13 long enough.
Yaz is very switched on.
Yeah, and met the Master on two different occasions now. Did she? Did she? Yeah, she did. Did she see the Master? No, did she ever actually share a room with the Master and the Timeless Children? Because she wasn't there for the cliffhanger. That was just Ryan. That was Ryan. And that was just Ryan. So I don't think she ever shared a room with him and Tam's children. I'm racking my brain.
He appeared at the end of the Ascension of the Cyberman episode in front of everyone. That was
Yaz and Graham were on the cyber carrier, so they didn't see it. That was my point. It was just Ryan that he appeared in front of. That's what I'm saying.
So it was literally just Ryan.
So like, but she's seen enough. She knows about him enough But then there's
Yeah, I
also the
wouldn't
argument that
trust
like
him
he
personally.
singles her out in the Spyfall cliffhanger. He's like, stick with me, Yaz, because I control everything. It's like you could spin any line in any direction to try and make it sound like it could be like she could be an agent of the Master, and I just hope it's not the case. I really do.
Well, I'm interested. I hope they do something.
Yeah.
I hope there's something there, like, because we never really get to see too much of like a companion in the Master. I mean, we'd get a lot with that, like with Bill Potts, but we didn't really know it at the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It'd be cool if they did something. I want to be surprised by what happens with the Master and Yaz.
That's true.
I don't know what's going to happen.
That is true.
But
I just
my
want to see.
question
I
to
want
you,
to see.
Troy-
I want to see 13 and Yaz kiss and see Twitter explode. That's what I know will make Twitter explode.
that's
the
good.
most.
Don't worry.
Because I saw a video. I keep shouting out my friend T, and it's not intentional, but they put a video up because they got a bunch of their friends together to watch the episode, and that's why it went trending.
Yeah.
I saw the video and it was going like everywhere, and I love that someone retweeted it and was like, "I love this is what's so special about Doctor Who because it's giving something that people had not seen before on TV, like a representation for
100%.
them." But just them screaming at like the scenes was
I think
so.
I saw that today
The whole
on Twitter.
group,
Yeah,
it's so
it was
adorable.
wholesome.
So like the way it will
was
explode
very,
when they
very
kiss will
wholesome.
be so funny. Honestly, it'll be so great.
I think that's almost a definite for the episode.
But I think you're about
my
to segue
question-
us
Troy,
into. Go
Troy,
on.
Oh no, I've just got a question for you.
on.
Do you think this episode is going to be too overstuffed?
That very much depends on the runtime. They've already confirmed feature length, which means what 70
What
minutes.
does feature
plus?
length mean?
I think it means 70 minutes
I
or more.
hope 17 minutes.
I mean,
Rumor is it's longer than the 50th.
I want it to be because I honestly feels like they've got more going on in an episode than even the 50th had, which is saying a lot. You know, that had 3 Doctors,
Yeah.
but we've got Daleks, Cybermen, the Master, Kate Stewart, Vinda, Ace, Tegan, Regeneration, Thasmin. There's so much stuff to juggle in that.
There's
There's end
Timeless
of time.
Child.
A
Fugitive Doctor.
I forget about that because she wasn't even in the trailer, but we know she's coming back. Like, there's
Yep.
end of time levels of content here, and that was a 2-parter that spread across like 2 hours and 15 minutes or something. So like,
Yep.
there's enough there. Like, I want it to be 90 minutes. That's what I'd like. I'd like a 90-minute
I hope
episode.
it's 90 minutes.
I don't think it will be.
Given the short length of Legend of the Sea Devil, surely.
I think it'll be about Day of the Doctor Deep Breath level where it's like 76, 77 minutes at a guess, but I would love it to be more like 90. I'd love it to be the longest episode of Doctor Who. That would just annoy. I feel like that would annoy people again. Like people who don't like the era, they'd be like, "Yeah, I
But, screw
I
it.
thrive
Shouldn't
on the
do it."
energy because I like it. I don't care that you don't know." No, seriously, all jokes aside, I actually would like it to be the longest because I feel like this is the opportunity where they would actually make the most of that time.
Well, they could.
See-
And plus, it is the centenary, so, you know.
Centenary. Like
got a lot
the
to
Sea
cover.
Devils has proved that like some of the episodes could be longer and be able to fit the content in. The Sea Devils was too short. You know.
Way
Even
too short.
10 minutes could have made. I was gonna say 10 Devils. 10 minutes could have made a difference there, but
10 Devils
But
could
the
have made a
ending
difference,
of
mate.
the trailer, the way that every time I've watched the trailer about 6 times now, it was number 4 trending on YouTube yesterday, which was really cool.
Yeah, baby.
It's so good to see. Let's just see if it's still trending now. Because when I looked, it was like number 7 yesterday morning.
but Doctor
It's
Who's-
number 4
but
in the
Doctor Who's dead,
evening.
so
It's number
anyway.
11 on trending now, so it is starting to wean down a bit. But like Thor: Love and Thunder, like that trailer will slide in front of it. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
there you go. Just checked. Thor: Love and Thunder trailer is number 1 on trending. Things you missed in the trailer is number 3. So you see what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah, that's
but-
what happens.
but I just really like the last clip of her, which I know everyone's saying that it's not the regeneration, might be the fob watch opening and all that, but the emotion of watching her regenerate, inverted commas, and just the one thing she shouts is Yaz's name, that hurts.
Yeah.
That genuinely
That
hurts.
hurts.
That hurts a lot, especially after all the Thasmin stuff in Sea Devils. That was like a waving the carrot in
You're
the
like,
face
"Oh
and then
my
taking
gosh."
it away. I didn't like that at
Yep.
all. I loved it, but I didn't
Literally.
like it. So that trailer was just amazing. It's honestly one of the probably my favorite trailers for Doctor Who ever because I can't remember the last time a trailer got me that excited. Like even the
I
Day of
know,
the Doctor
right?
trailer, like was just bouncing around. It was Matt Smith being like, "It's time. It's the Day of the Doctor." In terms of trailers, that wasn't particularly like good. It was good for building up excitement, but it didn't do much in terms of
Yeah.
the trailer. Whereas like that is a trailer that was like, wow, there's a lot in there for 30 seconds. You know?
Lots happening.
Yeah,
Too
Flux's
much
first trailer was a
happening.
minute, and there was less going on in that. I feel like than in the Centenary one.
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like that is
I
crazy.
completely agree. Completely agree with that. But it's got us very excited.
But one thing we need to talk about is the Twitter responses that we got. And I said we leave it to the last minute, and that's an editing secret. The bit we recorded earlier, where I mentioned that, we were going to talk about it later. Here's some editing magic for you. We recorded that 5 seconds ago. And I slid it into the
Oh,
episode. Did you notice?
stop it.
Did you notice?
That's so cheeky.
I know, just a tease because we
That's so
realised because we're
cheeky.
podcast with a plan. Podcast with a plan.
Podcast with
so
a
to wrap
plan.
up this episode,
Podcast
because
with a
I have
backup
no
plan,
idea.
more like it.
Yeah, I have no idea how long the episode's going to be. I think it's going to be about like an hour and 10, an hour and 20 at this point. But to wrap it up,
That's
we're going to
fine.
read the 4 messages we've got on our Twitter thread with regards to the Legend of the Sea Devils and the trailer. Okay, so we've got 4 Twitter responses here that we're going to read from. We'll just go through all 4 of them. That'll be a good way to wrap up the episode, regardless of however long the episode length is. Goodness knows. Do you want to read the first one out?
Yes, please, if I could.
Yeah, you have permission. I'm giving you permission to speak.
Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
Tips hat.
So this is from Muffin Guy 1989. And they say, I thought Legend of the Sea Devils was all right. Fun, but not amazing. Thasmin were the highlight. Centenary trailer kind of overshadowed the episode for me. I think we can agree on that. When I saw Ace, I was legitimately shocked. I'm ashamed to admit that I didn't recognize Tegan at first. Lol. I think Troy and I are both ashamed.
Literally me.
I think we could have written this.
I mean, I'd say Legend of the Sea Devils was good rather than all right, but I agree with the idea that it was fun but not amazing. Thasmin with a highlight. His tweet is basically
100%.
me. Is Muffin Guy 1989 my alt? What's going on here?
I don't know, but I very much agree. I'm going to like that tweet right now.
I've just seen the light go up on it. Yeah, that's very cool. It's very cool. Next up, we've got one from WTBA, who said, I was amazed at the negative reaction I saw mostly to Legend of the Sea Devils. I liked it. It wasn't amazing. It was B-, but I liked it and I had fun. The trailer was very surprising. I had not been spoiled on the Ace news, so I was shocked. Again, pretty much like me, because there has been a pretty negative reaction to Legend of the Sea Devils. People saying it was one of the worst episodes of the Jodie era. It was quite weak.
Highly disagree.
Blah, blah, blah. Highly disagree. You know, like, it's a long way to go before it's Orphan 55. You know what I mean? I hate on that a lot. I don't completely abhor Orphan 55. It's just, there's parts of it I just despise, but that's for another day when we do our reviewing Series 12 episode, whenever we get to that point. But yeah, I liked it. I would say like a BB-, yeah. It was a good episode. I had fun, and I am surprised that there was an overly negative reaction to it. You know what I mean?
Okay, we got one here from AntDude1, who says, overall, the ep was good. I love the sword fighting bit for some reason. I guess it reminds me of a movie I watched as a kid. The teaser is kind of, the teaser is awesome. Kind of wish it's a 2-parter where it fades to black as Journey regenerates, and the 14th Doc solves the problem.
Ooh.
Wow, that was a lot, AntDude. That was a lot. But I mean,
it's a hot take.
I feel like it should be a 2-parter. If you were just like talking
the
before,
Centenary should be
like
a 2-parter, 100%. I don't know if I like the idea of the 14th Doctor solving the problem that was set up with 13, though. That would feel like a bit of a disservice to her character, I feel like. But at least AntDude liked the sword fighting. I love the sword fights.
I think we like
the sword fights.
So
I genuinely love the sword fights.
We can 100% agree on that.
100%. I thought they were really, really cool. So I back you on that. And then wrapping it up, Connell has said, I think Jodie is opening the fob watch, not regenerating yet, and the Master will be taking fashion from the Curse of Fatal Death Master. OMG, Classic Who for the win. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of like the Master having all these different looks. I'm vibing with it. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, I think everyone feels like it's the fob watch. I don't know, though, because it does look like she's regenerating in the shot rather than the fob watch is being, like, you know, is transferring the knowledge into her. But we know the fob watch is going to come back into it. They tease that in Flux, you know, hide this away somewhere I can never find it unless I really ask for it. What better reason to ask for it than the future Doctor showing back up? The Master, the Lone Cyberman, Kate Stewart, Vinda, Ace, Tegan, Thasmin feelings, listing it all off. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of reason to get the fob watch out and be like, all right.
Oh, all right, fine. I'll get the fob watch out. All right, guys, you wanted the fob watch out.
You wanted the fob watch.
I'll get it out, guys. Here it is.
You've dabbled with fob watches. Now meet the genuine article.
I think that's a sign we should wrap this episode
I
up,
think
my
that
friend.
Definitely is a sign that we're at the end here. We're at the end. I think we should just stop. So.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. This is kind of an all over the place episode. I think we're still getting used to just talking again. I'm getting used to talking again without my throat being gone, because that was the main thing for COVID. I just stopped streaming because my throat just died entirely. I didn't speak for ages, which is weird for me because I don't know when to stop talking, you know?
I know. It was bliss.
Now I'm just sad.
I'm kidding.
Now I'm really sad.
I can bite back. Take a drink, everyone. Take a drink.
Oh, I don't know. But thank you all very much for listening. It is greatly appreciated. As always, make sure you're following the podcast on whatever platform you listen to it on. Check out the video versions on YouTube and Spotify, audio versions on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. So remember, you've got all that variety. If you're listening on a platform that you think is the only one it's on, you think I'd rather listen to this on Spotify, you can. Go do it. Remember, the video versions are on there too. And remember, Apple listeners still don't have video versions. It's a bit. I'm keeping the bit up now because Apple need to make video versions. I don't know why they haven't done it. They need to. And until they do, I'll keep laughing. Apple Podcast listeners, how's the audio version? Very funny. Very funny.
Oh my
Again,
God.
we love
They
you.
are our
I
key
say it
audience.
in joke. I say it as a jest
audience.
joke. It's just banter. It's great banter because we're in 2014 again now, and I'm Alan Partridge. It is great banter. It really is.
Oh, can I say something about like Apple?
If it's any kind of food joke, I'm ending the call, and the podcast is going to end very unceremoniously, and you're grinning, so I know that's what it was. Go on, say it. Say it. Let's have the podcast end right now.
Why do the Daleks eat fruit?
Answer.
Because an apple a day keeps the doctor away. I'm crying right now.
Poll and Q&A are underneath on Spotify. Make sure you reply to them. Give us your thoughts on the episode and Legend of the Sea Devils and the Centenary in the YouTube comment section. And beyond that, I'm leaving now to go and cry in a cold shower. Thank you all very much for listening. I'll see you next week in episode 10, of Who's There, a Doctor Who podcast. Losing track myself. Where are they now? Looking at where Doctor Who actors have come and gone before and after their roles in Doctor Who. I'm going to get away from Crispy Pro as fast as possible now and process that terrible sense of humour. Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you all soon.
Alon Z, baby.